Welcome back to World Traveler Cooking, the show where we cover interesting cuisines and interesting foods from around the world. This week, Saffranskladdkaka with Mandelmassa. Now, there are many different kinds of kladdkaka in Sweden, eaten around Christmas. These are a kind of cake with a very specific kind of consistency, typically pretty sticky in the middle, but quite delicious. And so today we will make one of these, though another day this year we will also have the more standard chocolate kladdkaka. Now there are many variations to this. At some point maybe I'll do another one. Sometimes people add white chocolate. Sometimes it's served with raspberry cream. But one thing about Sweden is they really go in on saffron in December. So this goes well beyond lussekatter, which I've covered in a previous video, but I may do again at some point. The ingredients are pretty simple. I have 125 grams of flour with about a quarter teaspoon of salt in it. That's about a cup of flour for Americans. I have about a gram of saffron. That's a lot of saffron. Christmas cooking is not something where people are stingy when it comes to ingredients, so keep that in mind. I have 3 eggs, 150 grams of butter. We'll use 2 tablespoons of vanilla sugar, 100 grams of marzipan, and 200 grams of sugar. The recipes I saw suggested a little more sugar than this, but I usually cut the sugar down when I make things. So this process won't take too long. I'm going to put it in a 24 centimeter springform pan, and normally people in Sweden will grease and flour these, but I'm just going to use baking paper to line it. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to set the butter in sort of an improvised double boiler to melt with the saffron mixed in. And we'll just set this on the stove in low heat while we combine the other ingredients. So for the ingredients, we will mix together our sugar and salt and our flour and 2 tablespoons of our vanilla sugar. So let me just take in 2 tablespoons. And there we go. And then we're just going to mix these together. 3. And we will mix these together. And very quickly we'll just kind of get the sticky mass, which is what we're looking for. So most recipes I see say to use like a cheese grater and grate the marzipan, but my cheese grater seems to have disappeared the last day, so I've cut this marzipan into very small pieces, and I'm just going to continue to add it and kind of vigorously mash it in a bit, and we'll hope that's enough. I'll be back once this is all mixed in. Our butter is still melting with the saffron. Once that's in place, then we will mix that in place and we'll get everything into the baking form. So, be back in a few minutes. So, with a little bit of effort, I've gotten most of this marzipan to dissolve, and it very much changes the consistency of this batter, as you can see. I'm going to keep working on that while I wait for my butter to melt, and then we'll go from there. Sorry about the noise in the background. Laundry is being done. So, I'm going to go ahead and add the butter and saffron a bit at a time. and just mix this in. This should emulsify pretty quickly and easily, but just in case, I'm not going to add it all at once. And I'm just going to keep this up until all of this is well incorporated. Yeah, you can see how well that absorbed. And here we have the finished batter. You can see it's very, very, very nicely mixed together. It's still a little lumpy with some pieces of marzipan, but not surprisingly a lot less than I would have expected. So I think we're ready to fill our form. So here is the batter in the cake pan, and now I'll put it in the oven at 200 Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit for around 20 minutes, plus or minus maybe 3 or 4 minutes, depending upon how sticky you like it. This cake is now out of the oven. I will be taking this lining out and setting up a taste test in a few moments once this has a chance to cool a little more. And this did puff up a little bit, but hopefully it's still nice and sticky inside. And now for the taste test. Now, this would normally be served with whipped cream and jam. I think it seems like it's about the right consistency, so that's good. So first, this is a very, very sweet dessert, so portion sizes will be small. Secondly, this really packs a very large saffron flavor. It's really very delicious. And saffron, as I've said before, is sort of one of the major sort of December flavors for desserts in Sweden. This is definitely delicious, but it's also not something I would eat year-round. But it's just an amazing, amazing dessert. So, something for you to add to your Christmas Yule board or Christmas table. If you find this content interesting, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have anything to say about this dish, please let me know in the comments. Recipes in the description. Bon appetit, and see you next week.